So today we're talking about finances. Now we're going to go for about 15 minutes today, so slightly shorter. And the reason for that is mainly because a lot of you guys, I have this tendency to teach you guys a lot in one go. And I had a couple of comments that were like, oh my God, it's amazing content, but I just don't have time. So we're going to be having a slightly slower week today where we are going to not have as much to do, but I would love it if you guys catch up on week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are week 5. And you can do that if you're in the Facebook group. You can go into the previous live. I think it'll be under the video tab or the live tab, depending on your if you're mobile view or not. And on Instagram, it will be in the grid. But just make sure to catch up with those because it will really preface what we're going to talk about today quite nicely. So, week 5, personal finances. That's what we're going to start with, okay? So what I would love for you guys to do, and I know that finances may be a kind of, what's the word? Almost like a difficult subject for you guys to even talk about, think about. But I'm someone who is open. I'm someone who would love to chat about finances, and I'd love to be open because I think that the more you don't talk about something, the more power you give it, okay? So I am one of those people who I'm like, you know what we're going to do this week? We're going to go deep into your personal finances and your business finances because they should be separate, okay? Mellifluous says, is it going to be uploaded to YouTube like the others? Yes, it will be. So if you want to catch up, you can also do it on YouTube, but you do miss out because we do cut it down. So you do miss out on some of the other things, like for example, the wedding thing that I've just mentioned. People watching on YouTube might not necessarily catch that. So it may be a good idea if you want the whole hog to catch up on Instagram or Facebook. So just off of that as well, if you guys are all in the kind of realm of learning and developing, don't forget the link in bio or on the Facebook group. I do have a free masterclass for you. The 3-step framework to skyrocket your Etsy sales by increasing your Etsy conversion rate. That is a 90-minute free masterclass for you. Definitely get on that link in bio, or if you're watching on Facebook, there will be a post, or handmadebosses.com/conversion, okay? handmadebosses.com/conversion, okay? But let's talk about it. Okay, so I'm someone who loves to talk about money and finances. I did start doing a couple of YouTube videos about that actually way back in the day, but it didn't get much traction, so I kind of always stuck, you know? So the first thing I want you guys to do is I want you to go through your personal finances over the last 3 months. And I'm not talking about if you've got Starling Bank and you just kind of go on the overview and you're like, yeah, I can kind of have a little look at that. No. I want you to scroll through each individual transaction. And I'd love for you guys to answer these questions. Is there anything that you have spent money on apart from bills? Okay, so that's the first question. Let's get you in there easy, okay? Have you spent on anything other than bills and just general personal expenses? Remember, this is personal finances. We're going to be talking about business finances in a jiff. So make a note of the things that you've spent that are not like your gas bill, your electric bill, and all that type of stuff, okay? Make a note of them, all right? That's step 1. Step 2 is looking at all of them and seeing what has actually brought you joy out of all of the things that you were spent on, okay? Now, the reason we're doing this is because quite often we're on autopilot, aren't we? We spend on things that used to bring us joy that we automatically go to. For example, for me, it is buying clothes. I used to just, on autopilot, I used to just go and just buy clothes because I was like, well, this made me feel good before, it's going to make me feel good again. But the reality of it is that it didn't, and it wasn't, right? I've just remembered I haven't turned on my lights. Never mind. So honestly, a lot of the time we do go into spending patterns that perhaps, again, used to make us happy, but perhaps don't now. So I want you guys to look at everything that you spent over the last 3 months and really decipher what has brought you joy and what hasn't brought you joy, okay? I really want you guys to write that down, get into it, get nitty gritty, and let me know in the comments, is there anything that you can think of where you're thinking, yeah, I can definitely think of a few things that I've spent on that really hasn't brought me joy? joy. So it could be buying jewelry, it could be buying clothes, it could be buying food out that perhaps you're just not all that keen on. And the next thing I want you guys to do is to really write down your savings goals for the coming year, okay? Because if we're not aware of A, where our money is going, and B, what our goals are, then we kind of have no hope of reaching them, right? And the fact of it is that if you're spending your cash on things that don't bring you joy, then you just need to stop that right now, apart from bills and all the stuff that you have to pay. But you just have to just stop spending on things that perhaps just are just not doing it for you, okay? And obviously, we're talking about personal finance. We will move on to business in a second, okay? So let me know in the comments, is there anything that you know that you've spent on over the last 3 months where you've kind of just been like, I regret this and it's not bringing me any joy, and therefore I'm not putting my hard-earned cash to good use? Because the whole idea of having the money is to use it for joyful things, such as going away or treating the kids, or maybe buying something that you've always wanted, or upgrading, or all these kinds of things, right? So do let me know in the comments, is there anything that you can think of over the last 3 months that you've spent on where you've come away and you've thought, you know what, I wish that hasn't brought me joy. Like, it hasn't really gotten me to the point where I'm thinking, this was a good use of money and time, okay? So that's the first part. And I really want you guys to make sure that you do this, because I know that we're all about business over here, in these parts, in this corner of the internet, but it does go a long way to really, to use some of these principles from our business lives in our personal lives as well, okay? Brescia says snacks. Yeah, so it could be then that you're thinking, you know what, like snacks don't really bring me joy, or bought snacks don't really bring me joy. I am going to spend the money in getting the ingredients to make some of my own. Yeah, that could be something. So again, let me know if you want to share your answers to the questions. Let me know. So let's just run through that again, because I might have gone a little bit on the far side, but over the last 3 months, review your finances. Is there anything that you spent money on apart from things you have to pay out for? Make a note of them, right? The second thing is what has brought you joy. The third thing is what has not brought you joy, okay? And then we are going to be looking at your savings goals for the coming year. And this is personally, not business, for you, okay? So do let me know, and if you're happy to share your goals or anything like that, do let me know in the comments. So the next part of this is your business finances, okay? So again, we're going to take the last 3 months and we're going to look deep into it, okay? And my first question is, are there any subscriptions or business expenses that you can spot? Things that perhaps Tailwind or a subscription or a delivery box or anything like that you have that you can spot, and just really, really make a note of them and really make sure to go back and look at the past 3 months. The next question I have for you, and this is going to be where the bulk of this live is going to be focused on. Are they giving you a good return on investment? And that is the golden nugget question. Is your business subscriptions giving you a good return on investment? Are you using that latest subscription that perhaps you've just kind of got running in the background? Are you, have you got something that perhaps you're thinking, well, I feel like I need this to make life easier for myself, but it's not really making life easier because it's not bringing me a good return on investment? Strictly speaking, every expense in your business should have some kind of return on investment. Now, it could be financial, it could be time, whatever it is, it should have something coming back to you, okay? So for example, a later subscription, it might be £10 a month, let's say, and you might be thinking, well, does it give me a good return on investment? Well, technically, I suppose it does, because it's bringing me in sales from, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and all that good stuff. But the other side of the coin is time. It is saving you time. Whereas, for example, if you've got a subscription to Marmalade or E-Rank or stuff like that, and maybe you only list things once every 3 months, could you downgrade that for the month that you're not using them and then upgrade it when you need to use it, right? It's all these things. So look at your business expenses and see if they are getting you a good return on investment. And let me know in the comments, is there any that is giving you a good return on investment, or any that you're thinking, you know what, I completely agree, this is just not doing it for me? Let me know. Helen says, wine is what I always buy. Yes, and it could be that you're sat there thinking, this doesn't bring me joy. Or, you know, it could bring you joy, depending. And you also say, yes, Telvin, I've only just started it. Yeah. So, I mean, if it's early days, it's going to take you a couple of months to really start to see something come back to it. But for me, in my business, I keep literally, I keep a spreadsheet, a running tab on exactly what my expenses are. Starling Bank does a really good job of this. So if you're looking for a new bank, you might want to just check out Starling Bank, because they are really, really good. But I do keep tabs on everything, and every month even, I'm like, right, is this working for me? Am I getting a good return on investment? Helen says, oh yes, wine does bring me joy. Yes. Exactly. So keep doing it then. Keep doing it. Hi, Karen. Hi, Meg. Hello. Amy Marie. Hello, hello, hello. So do they give you a good return on investment? Be really, really honest, okay? And it might do you guys good to go into the Etsy stats and kind of go into the back end of it and see if it's bringing you anything. For example, later, if you've bought it to schedule our Instagram post, let's say, you know, can you go into the back end and see whether Instagram is bringing you in traffic, and all that good stuff. So it all kind of depends on what you guys have going on, but there's always ways to measure if it's doing anything for your business, right? And as I always say, every social media network, everything that you have is a branch from your business. And if the branch is diseased or it's not doing so good, you cut it off, okay? So it should be bringing you in a return on investment in its own right, okay? Minnie says, I pay for my website and haven't seen any return yet. Still early days though. Yes. So if my general rule of thumb is I give things three months. It's my rule of three. And I can explain more about that in another live, but I don't want to make this really, really long. But I have a rule of three where I give things 3 months, but that's 3 months of me putting my all into it. Which is why I say to you guys, don't ever spread yourself too thin and have like Instagram and Twitter and your own website and this and that, because you can't give your all if you've got all these things going on. But yes, give yourself a time limit and say, right, if it gets to this day and I'm not seeing anything back, then I have to reevaluate. Hi, Karen. Hello. Canva is a great one. Yes, Canva for me is, do you know what? Canva Pro is probably one of the best business investment subscriptions I have ever made in my life. And I'm not, I mean, they haven't paid me to say that, but I just find Canva Pro is absolutely amazing. It just makes things an absolute doddle. And I'm sure Meg, if you're still watching, would absolutely agree. I upgrade to the Pro version when I'm using it a lot, and then I downgrade again. Yeah, so like if you've got Canva and you're thinking, well, I'm only going to be doing like, I'm going to be bulk uploading my Instagram posts, or I'm going to be using later, and I know that for that I'm going to use Canva, so I'm going to like bulk do it all, like 3 months worth of stuff, and I'm going to use it once. Upgrade Canva and then downgrade it again. You don't have to pay if you're not using it, right? Love Canva, amazing. Meg says, yes, hello. How is Pro so different with Canva? So you get access to a lot more elements. You get access to an amazing feature called background remove, which removes the background from your pictures in like 1 click. It is just amazing. I mean, there's so many, you get access to videos, more templates. Depends how you use it. Obviously, it depends who you ask as to whether people say Canva's amazing or not. But definitely for me, Canva is just amazing. And Pro, I mean, it's worth it, to be honest, for me, just for the background remover, because sometimes, you're taking a picture of a product, then you find out that you've got something nasty hanging out in the background. It's just one click and done. Whereas when I used to have Photoshop, it used to take me a good 40 minutes to sit there and edge out all of the stuff. If you guys use Photoshop, you can feel my pain, right? Okay, so the next question is, so obviously we talked about, do they get you good return on investment? But the next question is, do they benefit your overall profits? And if not, could you get rid of them? So again, if they're not bringing you in a monetary return on investment, a good way to look at it is, what's your hourly rate, your wage, and consider that your business cost. Let's say, for example, again, like the whole Canva Pro thing, if you're spending an hour to edit 2 pictures on Photoshop, and you're paying yourself £20 an hour, let's say, and then you've got Canva Pro, which is like what, £10.99 a month. You guys can do the math. You guys know that, okay, yeah, if my business is paying me X amount each hour to do this, and yet I've got a tool that's like £10.99 for the entire month, then that is a good return on investment. But again, if you're not doing a lot of graphic stuff, or you pay someone else to create it for you, then maybe Canva's not the best thing for you. So there's that. And then the next question is a juicy one. So after doing this, you would have identified areas of your business where you are getting a good return on investment based on the initial investment that you're placing into it, and some areas where you're not getting a good return on investment. And obviously it goes without saying that let's reduce the ones that are not getting you a good return on investment. But this question is all about, can you increase the amount of money that you're spending? So take the money that you would have saved from all the stuff that's not serving you and put that into all of the places that are serving you. So for example, let's say that you looked at your stats and you're thinking, you know what, Instagram is really hitting it hard. Like I am getting so many sales from that platform, and I know my target market is on the platform. You could invest your profits into Instagram in whatever that looks like for you. It could be getting a virtual assistant to make, to plan out your posts consistently so you never miss a day. It could be hiring a graphic designer to create your posts for you. I mean, what more could you ask for? It could be upgrading to a scheduling tool that allows you to schedule on stories as well as just on the grid. Believe it or not, some will let you do that and some won't for some reason. Later lets you schedule to stories, but it's a paid upgrade, whereas I think the basic grid feed is free. So basically you're essentially looking at what is going well for you, and we're looking at redirecting the amount spent into these things that are working well for you. So let me know, have you guys got any idea? I know it's kind of like early days because you haven't actually looked at your finances yet, but is there anything where you're thinking, you know what, that is working for me and I need to put more time and effort and money into that branch of my business in order for it to perform better? Let me know. And the last question is quite a random one, but is there anything that you want to test out within your Etsy shop? So like if there's anything else in your handmade business that you want to test out. So if you want to redirect again some of the money that you've saved, getting rid of things that are not getting you a good ROI, is there anything you want to test? Is there anything you want to try? I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head, but it could be getting someone, or again, like getting the paid upgrade to Canva and creating video posts rather than just like the static picture. That could be something that you want to try. Or could it be getting more professional pictures taken of your items? That could be something that you want to try. So essentially, it's all about taking inventory in your personal financial life and in your business one. What's working, what's not working, cutting out what's not working, and taking that and putting it all in one branch. Does that make sense? Facebook, does that make sense? Instagram, does that make sense? And let me know if there is going to be anything that you guys can just sit there and go, yeah, I know exactly what needs to stop and what I need to spend more time and effort and energy into. But yeah, honestly, guys, I would do this process every quarter, every 3 months, and just make sure that you're not just accumulating expenses for no reason, because it's a very easy thing to get into. You know, we go, oh, that's like £5 a month, that's £10 a month, that's like £20 a month, and then before you know it, you're like £150 a month deep, and you're thinking, is this really working for me? Because I'm probably thinking it's not. Baby Molla says it does. Yes, it does all compound and it does all add up. So guys, I really hope that was helpful for you. We have gone on a little bit longer, but I know that a lot of you guys will be tempted to skip this, and I understand it can be painful to look at our finances and our bank balance and all that type of thing. But I do really implore you guys to really make sure that you do this, because it will help you out a lot. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that live. Now, don't forget, there is a live masterclass in the link in bio, and if you're watching on Facebook, handmadebosses.com/conversion. There will not be a live next Monday on the 14th on Valentine's Day, but there will be the one after that, and that will be week 6, which concludes our Handmade Bosses business reset. But don't worry, don't go anywhere, because we have got tons of amazing live content coming for you in 2022. But for now, guys, I will catch you in a couple of weeks. Have an amazing week. And don't forget, if you have any questions, please do post in the free Facebook group. If you're on Instagram, the link for that is in the bio. But for now, guys, I will catch you later. Bye, everyone.